Get Mo into vlogging. I think he could be a great vlogger.
Can you imagine Mo recording himself working out and explaining what he's doing and putting it on YouTube? Like that
No,
would
because
be...
I think
Yeah,
he
I
would
can.
I don't know. I feel like he would kind of be like, you just do it. Like, I'm Mo. It is.
No, I think he has
You either know it or
systems.
you
I think he has
don't.
systems.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Liverpool Girlies Podcast, a place where we welcome anyone who loves to obsess over Liverpool FC and wants to talk about everything from Flo's beautiful goals this week to Cody running around with a shoe in his hand. My name is Stephanie, and I'm here with Annika and Molly Ann. We are three friends who share a love of Liverpool and dream of one day having a cup of coffee at the AXA Training Center coffee bar. It feels like it's been forever since we've done this. It's been a while, and it feels like not a lot has happened, but a lot has happened. And the Barnsley match was, It feels like it was 3 weeks ago. That was this week.
Thank you. Because I was getting ready this morning and like thinking back to what we were gonna have to talk through. I was like, wait, we played another match this week?
This week was really pleasing to me. Barnsley and Burnley. I keep on wanting to say Burnsley, you guys. The alliteration is very satisfying.
Yes, it was. We did get an update off the pitch. Conor Bradley, poor sweet baby boo Connie baby. He will be out for the rest of the season. He thankfully didn't tear his ACL or his MCL. They said it was just a ligament issue and a bone issue, surgery, all that. So I just love getting to see all the players, all of his teammates posting about him. And who was it? Even Simicast was posting about him in his stories. So I'm glad that he's getting the love and care that he deserves. But that's such a bummer because it has been so refreshing to see him on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him a lot, and I'm just wishing for a very speedy recovery for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really a big bummer.
Was that our first FA Cup round?
Yeah. Our entry.
Whoa, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that was our first round for the FA Cup. So excited to be back in the FA Cup. That was a great match. We did get some unseen footage from Liverpool. I'm not sure if you guys watched it, but it was really fun. Rio got his start at Anfield, and that was incredible. It was really fun to get to see one of our babies out on the pitch as a starting player. It was really fun because before the match, you could see Dom with his arm over Rio, and he was like explaining things to him and just like encouraging him and coaching him and just like getting him set up for the day. And then right before kickoff, you could see Andy Robertson doing the same with Rio. So I liked getting to see that from the behind the scenes, like unseen footage. So I'm grateful that they included that in there. Getting to see the media that Liverpool puts out is really great. It's always really fun to see those moments, especially since we are so far away.
Yeah, I always love seeing each player and kind of their pre-match rituals when they're at home at Anfield. Like Hugo going out, he likes to just kind of stand on the pitch by himself and have a minute. And it's fun to see the different dynamics because it is such a cool environment to be in. And being in an empty like sports stadium before it fills out with all the fans, like that must be really fun.
I'm just fascinated with professional athletes and all the things that they do to get mentally prepared for such a big moment. So that is just really impressive to me. And then we also had our inside training. That was really fun. We always love getting to see our boys at the AXA Training Center. And we love that coffee bar content.
Yes. This inside training, I felt like, I don't know, it still seemed more a little more like low energy vibes. But we got to see some really good, like kind of, if you're snooping in the background. So
As we do. That is what we do when we watch these things.
Yeah. And so we've talked before of like seeing the signs that's like today's yellow day and tells them like how much protein to eat, how many carbs to eat. And so this week there was on like a big TV screen, it was giving them like pre-match meal options, which I loved getting to see. I kind of geek out on things like that. What also was really funny to me was another TV was playing one of the LFC TV shows, the like media show. And so what was going through my brain is like that TikTok sound that was like, wait, is this play about us? Like, I was like,
That's just
man.
people talking about them.
It's so meta.
Yeah. And then in like the training room where they kind of do like strength training and like some more dynamic training. And maybe they've showed this before and I've just never noticed it. Totally makes sense, but it was cool to see laid out like each player, and then you could tell they had listed out like kind of the different routine for each of them, and like some of them had a longer one, some had a shorter one. So it was, I'm sure, intentionally not very clear, so like you couldn't see exactly what was there, but I had never noticed that before, and so I thought it was just like cool little background things that they're doing to get prepped ahead of a match that we know are happening, and it's just fun to get to see it.
We love our operations.
Yes. I have a pitch for the team. I think they should sell individual player workout routines. So if you want to work out like Virgil van Dijk, here's the 6-week routine. If you want to work out like Cody Gakpo, here's the 6-week routine, including weightlifting, resistance training, cardio. I feel like they could make some good money off of that.
You know? Who I think would actually do this is Mo would start his own private like workouts with Mo Salah. He's gonna have like
Mo's
a Discord and a Patreon, like his home gym routine. He's like, I work out all day for work, but also when I'm at home, here's what I do. Get Mo into vlogging. I think he could be a great vlogger.
Can you imagine Mo recording himself working out and explaining what he's doing and putting it on YouTube? Like that.
No, because I think he would
can.
kind of. I don't know. I feel like he would kind of be like, "You just do it." Like I'm Mo. It is.
No, I think he has
You either know it or
systems.
you
I think he has
don't.
systems.
No, I love that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the goals is to have legs as strong as Virgil van Dijk, and so if Virgil could tell me what to do, I'll take it.
What I wouldn't do to be a fly on the wall. Wonderful.
Oh,
well,
the other thing. So sorry. In inside training, I was like, I know I had one more thing. Leone, I know we've talked about him kind of being back, but he was like back eating with the team. I know he's not like in full trainings, but it just looked like we made like a really big step closer to getting him back. So very excited.
Still walking around with that big knee brace, but like he
I
looks
didn't
really
notice.
good and mobile. Yeah, his left knee had a huge brace on it.
Yeah, so very, very excited.
And everyone
have him
seemed so
back.
excited to see him too when he was greeting everyone. Yeah.
okay. Well, if I can take you back to what feels like a very long time ago, Monday, when we played Barnsley, how was that viewing experience? We watched it at home, right? Were we at home?
We were.
I've almost forgotten.
Yeah, I didn't really watch this game. It was like early,
Right.
middle of the workday for me. So, to my employer, just so you know, I was working. But I did have it on in the background when I wasn't in meetings. So, yeah, it was just like kind of a weird, I feel like I didn't really get to like watch and appreciate the game. And anytime something big happened, at least like the commentary via the TV and not watching it, I'd kind of turn around and be like, wait, we scored a goal? Like it just, maybe that's why the game feels so long ago.
You're absolutely right.
What's happening?
I was like, the words are like no one's saying we scored a goal. It's kind of like we're inferring we scored a goal. I turn around, Sobo has scored. And I was like,
I don't know if it was
low key.
I don't know if it's because if it's the FA Cup compared to like the Premier League that we usually see, but you couldn't hear the crowd the way that you usually can. It was just completely quiet. So I don't know if the microphones are different or Anfield was just silent. I'm not inclined to believe that. I mean, we won 4-1.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine they were quiet. There were a few things that felt, obviously it's FA Cup, so we're playing a team that, we don't remember having played since being fans. And so that's always fun to get introduced to a new team. Anfield, like the miking was noticeably different. And so it just felt like a different atmosphere. But then also there's no VAR in the FA Cup. So that was also an adjustment in terms of how the game was being run. So there was a lot of things that made it a little different. But I also noticed that as well. I was watching it and it felt like, Sobo's goal was so early. So there wasn't that much build up to it, I suppose. But yeah, just in the moments, it was a funny atmosphere. And I don't know if that's like kind of FA Cup energy of just you want to bring a more like subdued
Yeah.
goal
Was
celebration.
this the goal that for Sobo's goal, like he seemed very calm, and then did like
Yes.
his celebration. Was this the one that he did his like
Mo.
celebration? Okay,
Yeah.
Again, so long ago. Can't
And
quite
Holland
remember.
like snapping about Sobo and took a picture and was like, dude, smile. You just scored a goal. Like, what's your deal?
But literally, that's when I turned around. I was like, nothing like from the audio is giving me the fact. It's telling me Sobo scored, and he's like so cold faced. So
Yeah.
it was just
Maybe
interesting.
it's just out of respect because Barnsley
I did think that too. Yeah.
I mean, you scored against a League Two team. Like, you
Yeah,
probably
that we should be scoring against.
Yeah, you probably should be scoring that. And these guys are so
Yeah.
critical on themselves. Like, I do think that it was respectful. It was just really interesting. And it felt like, I don't know if it was part of Arne's tactic, I guess. It just felt like the volume was turned down on the players' energy too. We weren't seeing them sprinting as hard as they usually do. And I wonder if they were directed to do that, because they could have blown these guys out of the water 8-0. But it just felt like they were taking it a little bit easier to just kind of conserve their energy, because there's 3 days in between these games and then 4 between the next. We're just back to 2 games a week for the rest of the month. So I wonder if that had something to do with it too.
And like, we know what it feels like to think that we're doing very well and then to lose control of the game. So I just,
What? Spoiler
anytime, anytime we're like, oh yeah, we've got this, I'm just like, maybe let's just take a deep breath and see if we do have this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, Fermí's goal was also beautiful pretty early on. It was a fun game. I did appreciate the lack of VAR, to be honest. What was your guys' like thoughts around that? Did you notice the difference?
I know there was one moment where I heard like someone mentioning this is a moment that would probably go to VAR in the Premier League, and it won't. I think VAR is a great tool when it's used well, and I think when you're a fan saying it's used well, like it goes the way you want it to, and then when it goes against you, you can respect that it held the rule and not want it to exist.
I don't remember who created the tackle, but it was in our box, and ultimately, like, the media, they were like replaying it. And it was, I don't remember which player it was, but they hit the ball first. It wouldn't have been considered a penalty for Barnsley. So that, and I really thought that our final goal was offside, and it probably would have been considered offside if there was VAR. But I just really like non-Premier League reffing and no VAR and all that. It's because we see so much of it in the Premier League. It's just like a breath of fresh air to see how it's done differently.
It was fun to see a mix up of our normal starting players and then a couple people who don't normally get to start. I did appreciate the balance of that, getting to see Marmy again. We immediately, like, seeing him after watching Allison the last couple of weeks, I was like, he's very, very tall. And I know we've talked about this, but it does shock me every time. I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's 6'6".
He's ginormous.
It's crazy. It would be very intimidating, I would imagine, as a striker trying to score against me. You'd be like, how?
Yes.
That was like when we were playing, oh shoot, what team is it? You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, hold on. PSG's goalie? No.
I think so. It's either PSG or Real Madrid's.
It's this year it was Real Madrid, but PSG last year with Donnarumma, where you're like,
Oh yeah, they had Donnarumma.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an asset for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate.
A couple of the things from the game, Rio's braids looked phenomenal. Mac needs a headband. Like, that man needs to figure out what's going on with his hair.
Or hair notes.
Yes. Add it to the headband discussion. We got really lucky. Okay, yes, we did win 4-1, but it did not feel that comfortable because the last 2 goals came so late in the game. We got really lucky in the first minute that they hit the crossbar, or they hit the post in the first, like, it was like second 39 or something like that. So we were very lucky there. And then we love the Hugo X Verts collab. That this week has been absolutely incredible. Seeing those two
This
play
dynamic
together
is incredible. Like, it's perfection. I have no notes.
They're the best.
Not necessarily during the 90 minutes of the match, but Arne's post-match interview, I thought just was really interesting. on Monday. I've never seen him seem like so frustrated. I know sometimes the way he talks, what he talks about, people feel is controversial because he is so matter of fact. But I just felt like the way he looked exhausted, he looked frustrated, and we don't tend to see that from him.
And the footage
really
shows him like smiling and happy before the game started. So it is very drastic from the beginning.
So, and I think some of the things he talked about in that post-match interview, again, I think just kind of shows maybe a little bit of where the frustration that like he's trying to carry. Like he doesn't want to not play well. He doesn't want us to be drawing, like to get the results that we're getting. But he talked about, one thing we didn't talk about, he talked about was Sobo's, kind of like back heel pass that ultimately he assisted a goal to Barnsley, and just the impact that had on the game where, he was saying like we should go into halftime or come out of halftime like 3-0, 4-0. So that way somebody like a Trey Neone who's worked really hard, who's really developing, gets more playing time. I think he's kind of come under fire the last couple of weeks because he's not, people are wanting him to start Rio, which have your opinions about. I don't think Rio needs to be starting every game, but it was just interesting to see Slot like kind of talk about, hey, my plan is to be able to give these young individuals more game time, but when we don't play the way that we're expected to play and to deliver the results we're expected to deliver, like I can't just put Trey Neone out there and hope for the best. So it was an interesting interview. The other thing that happened, I can't remember if it was Sunday or Monday, it came out that Xabi Alonso is no longer the head coach at Real Madrid. It was that interview with Slot post-match that I was just so curious, like, is that in his head? Is it even a factor? And really only FSG and Slot know whether like the Xabi Alonso factor is on the table. And I just felt like physically, to me, it looked like maybe it is a factor, kind of the way he looked and showed up. I don't know. It was just a really interesting post-match interview.
It's so interesting. Like that would just be so dramatic.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not in Slot out team. Like I don't have, he's our manager, and so I back him and I support him, and that's where I stand. Yeah. But it was just like such an interesting coincidence of the day for him to kind of show up with the energy and the presence that he did, and it also be the day we find out Xabi Alonso is no longer coaching at Real Madrid. Whether there's a correlation there or not, I do not know.
What does it mean?
Or do I?
I mean, we were like number one Xavi stans when Jurgen announced.
Oh, yeah.
He was leaving. We were like, we want him.
Incredible. It just was an interesting moment to notice, but I'm not in the team Slot out group. I just want to make that very clear. But I also really love Xabi Alonso. It can be both.
There is room.
We support the people that we have on our team no matter what.
Yes.
No matter who they are, we're going to be here and support them unless they're absolutely terrible. But yeah, that doesn't
unless they do a crime against humanity. But
we do have some boundaries. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we went from Barnsley to, I was about to say Burnsley, but not Burnsley. You've gotten in my head. From Barnsley to Burnley. So Burnley was on Saturday. We got to go to the pub. We had our whole pub group reunited
for the first time since November.
Yeah, so it was so fun.
Wait, I hadn't realized that was the first time we're all together since then. Wow.
Yeah. What were y'all thinking kind of going into this match? Wow,
I was thinking positive things.
Boy, was I wrong.
I was thinking some positive things. I was just thinking, yay, Hugo is back. Mostly that. Mostly I was thinking, yay, Hugo is like, and obviously Hugo played for Barnsley, but I just recognized that was a different game in its nature. It was not a Premier League game. So I was like really excited to have Hugo back in the Premier League. It was a nice 7 a.m. game. I was excited to go to the pub. Our friend Young, he brought bingo cards for us. So it was actually a very like jovial viewing experience, I would say. I was feeling, I think sitting down, I was like, okay, play Burnley, woohoo. That was not how I felt when I left. Spoiler alert.
I did not go in feeling super stressed really all this season. Really not at the beginning of the season, but since like a quarter of the way into the season. I've just been showing up and saying, I don't know what team we're going to get to watch right now. I don't know how they're going to show up, but I'm going to show up and support them. And I'm going to have fun hanging out with my friends. I've been trying to focus on that and try not to let the game impact my emotions so much. I felt more confident going into it because, I mean, Burnley's been really struggling this season, and I was hopeful, and I was excited that we were at Anfield. Yeah, I didn't really think too much into it because, I mean, there's been just a lot of stressing over the last month or so because we've played some really big teams recently. So it's just nice to like relax a little bit going into it.
Yeah, I mean, per the usual, felt like we've got this. And I think especially kind of looking at our last batch of matches, like we're seeing, again, consistent development. It feels like growth within specific player positions and how the team's playing together as a whole. And so I just never thought we would have walked out of this match not as the winner. And I think even in this match, we saw players that have shown continued growth. And so I love getting to see that. And I just really hate that those moments and that development is now overshadowed by this draw. You know, last week we talked about our draw at Arsenal, and we came out of that one being like, we won the draw. And so to come out of this one and be like, I felt like we lost the draw, to be honest.
Yep.
It's just really disappointing. And I hate that for Flo, for Kirkez, for me, that like are playing so well.
Exactly. Our performance was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, for most of the game, I was honestly like, oh my gosh, are we the greatest football team to ever exist? Like,
it was a point where we were like, are we like really good or are they just like really bad? We couldn't figure out which one was correct because we are watching the team fix the problems that we have had since the beginning of the season. Their passing game was beautiful. There was a point where all five of us were like, whoa, there was like a passing sequence of 5, 6, 7, something like that, all the way down the pitch.
And then pass.
It was like so impressive. Flo is insane. He continuously shows that he is absolutely the incredible footballer that we really had seen in his former teams. So it was a really big bummer to concede that goal.
I think you're right, Molly, and like the overshadowing of it, like even from my own emotional experience, like this is the first draw we've had this season that left me feeling like sad and frustrated. Even though I'm like objectively, we showed up better for this draw than we have a lot of other ones. But because we had shown up poorly, I was like, well, we got something out of it. And this time I was like, we're so good.
Yeah. I mean, it just had
so good and we're bad for 10 minutes.
And we had so many chances. I mean, so if you on your bingo card, you were talking about, you know, you think we'll have over 70% possession, which we did. We ended with 72% possession. Like the 11 shots on target. Sobo having a penalty kick, and it's just not Sobo to. I mean, that's the second PK he's ever missed, which is crazy
in his career, not with Liverpool, but just in his career.
Yeah, in his career.
That's his. How many PKs has he taken? Has he taken many PKs?
I think that was his 24th. I mean,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think
not for us.
Yeah, just in general, in the totality of his career. So I think that's what was hard, is to see so many like blatant moments where we should have been able to finish and put it away, and we couldn't.
And then even at the very end, like Ekitike's goal, that first I was like, yay, and then seeing it up close, you're like, oh, it's like so awkward, the handball. And it was one of those moments where I was like, we really are creating those chances. There's so much, like the build was like so good. The communication looked incredible. There was about 10 minutes where it was really, really bad. And then it was like fine.
Yeah, we just like couldn't get back into that former state.
But the confidence I was seeing at the beginning, like I was like, oh, you look like you know each other.
There's something about headspace when a mistake happens and we concede a goal or something happens on the pitch and they can't get back into the game. Just for some, and we have not seen that in the last couple of seasons. Usually they're able to brush it right off and get right back into it and get confident again. But it's a mentality side of things. And we look so good for 2/3 of the pitch. I would even say 3/4 of the pitch. We've gotten that down from defense through midfield. We have fixed a lot of the problems that we've been seeing for a while. We create so many chances, but just the finesse and the finishing, I don't know what it is. Also, I really want to give credit to Burnley. Their goalkeeper was incredible. How many saves did he make? What, 5 or 6, something like that?
Yeah, we had 11 shots on target.
Yeah,
so.
like that is he did an incredible job. So props to them. They did really well. They came to intimidating Anfield and they did a good job. This might upset some people, but does Sobo have the yips? Is that where we're at?
I've been really afraid of this.
I don't think it will last long. He won't let it last long. But with his assist on Monday and with his miss today on Saturday.
And there was something against Arsenal. I think it's been 3 matches in a row that I was like, oh, that was a little off from how he has been. He's still like great, but
he's just not the Sobo that we know. It's interesting because he's been on like a high, and everyone else has just been kind of down here, and now it's flipped, and he's getting a chance to like sit back a little bit because everyone else is starting to show up really well. So anyway, that was one question too. Do we need to like sage Anfield because our home record this season has been really
not good.
hard? Someone just needs to take a bunch of sage and go all throughout the pitch.
Something's gotta give. One, I mean, also amidst the disappointment, I do think it's important to remember, like, this is our 12th match unbeaten in a row. So we really have turned a corner. It is a roller coaster. I feel like this is a completely different season than it was in August. Do you guys feel that separation of like, I'm like, this is a new year. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, it literally isn't a year, but it just feels, I feel so, like, I feel like I'm watching a different team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm hoping that, you know, I think I don't know, maybe I'll just speak for myself. It's like, okay, the goal in the Premier League now should just be to finish in a Champions League spot. I think everyone, I don't know, who knows, maybe something crazy happens. But, you know, if really focusing on our actual Champions League play and the FA Cup, I think is really important this season. But I just really hope that supporters and the team can like continue to work towards development, work towards growth, because we're seeing that happen. And I would love to get to May and feel like, okay, they've figured it out, right? Like, we've used this year, it's been real low, we've had some highs, and to finish the season like confident, whether that means the next couple of months, like, we have some games that look a little messier. To me, that feels like the goal now. Like, that's what to work towards. And like, I really hope that like the players can like stay in it enough and there's not so much noise and pressure from the outside to distract them from like the little moments are getting better. And like, if we could just get to May and feel really strong and have a really strong end of the season, I think going into next year, like, we're gonna be fine. We're just putting so much pressure on like individual moments, individual matches, and like forcing those to mean so much. We still want to win. Like, I don't want to watch what we watched yesterday, you know, for the next 3 months. But I think they're proving to us that they're getting better. And so I just hope like everyone can stay in support of that. So we can finish the season strong and then like be who we know we are when we start back in August. I don't know. That was just kind of my like thought process this morning.
Your vision casting.
Yeah. Where I was like, we're not going to win the Premier League, guys. Like, if that's what you're still holding hope for, like, just there's still a lot of opportunity in Champions League, and I really think we have a strong opportunity to win the FA Cup. I don't think it's just like let this season fall by the wayside, but I think really the bigger goal is like, how do we set ourselves up to be successful again for the next 3 years when we finish this season? And we've talked about that before. Like, I don't know. I think that, and just to people that are so vocally critical to the team, I had a really hard time like hearing the boos inside Anfield. And I'm not from Liverpool. I don't live in Liverpool, you know, but I've a part of an American fan base following Auburn that like, we haven't been good in a long time, and I still don't want to boo that team. So like, I'm just never in support of that. And so I just really hope there can be some like positivity, support, and encouragement, along with saying we don't want to watch this for again. And we set ourselves up in a really good position for next year.
We spent this much money, not just for one season,
Yeah.
but to be good over the next 5, 6, 7 years. That is the point. It's not an overnight fix. The way that they have overcome so many obstacles since the summer has been honestly inspiring. And the guys don't get enough credit for that. They just don't, the entire team, everyone involved, they don't get enough credit for putting their heads up high and pushing through and dealing with so much change and so much heartbreak of losing a teammate and then more teammates being like sold to other teams and them being replaced. And it's just a completely different like environment for them. Plus, after losing their coach, like he decided to leave. So it's just, there's so much change, and change is hard. Change is so hard.
And I think if we're looking at the little moments, like they're showing us that they're figuring out and putting in the work and getting better.
And
I
they
just
care.
hope that we can, I just hope that we can continue to honor and support that. And at the same time, you can say like, what you're doing is not good enough. But you're continuing to work, and we respect that.
They show up every day with heart, and they respect each other and show up with professionalism and a lot of respect. And I just really appreciate that about them.
And we just love them so much. So don't boo them. Okay, thanks.
Just don't boo them. We don't usually talk about other teams, but it was like a Premier League weekend that was like upside down and shaken.
Yeah.
Because Man City lost to Man United 2-0, and Arsenal tied 0-0 with Nottingham Forest at Nottingham Forest. That is bonkers. So it kind of makes me feel better because maybe something was just in the air. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it wasn't just us. It's just such a weird Premier League season.
It is a weird season.
But I'm pulling for you, Aston Villa.
Yes, Josh,
Really
bring
words
it
I never
home.
thought I would
Bring it
say.
home, Josh.
We as long as Arsenal doesn't win, we're pulling for you, Aston Villa. Come on. You got this. You can win the Premier League this season, okay?
Any other Monday through Saturday thought before we do a quick
For a new week.
gaze into the future? We have Champions League matches are back. We go to Marseille midweek. Very excited. We play Bournemouth.
I'm so excited.
Premier League. And then also this week, I don't know if anyone knows the specific day, if we've been told, but we should see the return of Mo Salah after his very incredible AFCON run. So
Yes.
so excited.
He's supposed
have
to
Mo
fly
coming
back today or tomorrow is what I read.
Okay.
So I don't know when we'll see him in the training center again. I think I heard that he's not going to be back in time for Marseille, but he should be back for Bournemouth.
Oh yeah. I was like, hopefully give him like a beat to rest.
Help me build in the context. Since Mo has been gone, Isak got injured, correct? Remy returned from injury.
Flo scored his
So
first
there
goal.
have been, yep. And
Well,
so
Bradley
I'm
came
very
back from
interested-
injury and went back out on
and
injury.
went out on injury.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious with what Mo's transition back into the squad will look like. But having Fermi available makes me feel a lot more hopeful about the way that like Mo will be able to incorporate in. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Any
Always
kind of
excited.
thoughts going, how are we feeling going into the week?
I just love Champions League. I really do. It makes me so happy.
I'm
I'm
excited.
excited for that.
Champions League always makes me nervous because it's just like the teams are really good. So I'm a little bit more on edge about it. And Bournemouth is looking really great this season. So it's just another
Hard
week
week.
of, it's just another week of showing up and supporting and hoping for the best and cheering them
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think we have this Champions League match, then one more. And hopefully we can finish so we don't have to play that
And
second
we
set of
didn't
matches.
have to play last time as well.
But
And I do
I would
remember
say
Arne
it-
kind of
it
being like,
didn't
I don't
help
know if
us."
that really worked out in our favor, but hey, less time on the pitch for our players. I'm like, that can only help in terms of minimizing their wear and tear.
very excited. And so excited for Mo.
Well, and he's coming back. You know, there was a time where we didn't know he was coming
That's
back.
so true.
Mo's returning. Yay.
Oh, I never doubted it.
Player of the week. Annika, who is yours?
My player of the week is Florian Wirtz. When I first started loving Premier League football, some of my favorite moments were like the ball soaring across the pitch and just those really like kind of time slows down magical moments. And Flo consistently gives us that. He is so fun to watch. I'm so happy that he's always been making an impact, but that's translating into goals for him. Loving the Hugo connection. A huge fan of Florian and love watching him play.
His pass to Hugo during the Burnley match yesterday, I don't know what minute it was in, but I just remember my jaw. It was like a Trent level type of pass. My jaw was on the ground and I was like, who was that?
The
What's
precision.
Going on? It's
insane.
Like literally it was beautiful. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. I need to see if I can find a clip of it at some point.
I think someone said it's like he's a surgeon. I think someone in the pod mentioned that. They're like, it's like he's a surgeon. I was like, yeah, like so precise.
Well, Anne, who's yours?
It is Milos Kerkez. I've said it a million times in this episode, said it a million times in our other episodes, but we continue to see him consistently improving. I feel like the last stretch of games, every game I've come out and said that was his best game. That was his best game. And I felt like this was another performance where just like he showed up so well, so consistent, so strong. And he's still so young. And so I am excited to watch him continue to develop, but I love seeing him on the pitch. Shout out to Kerkez. Keep doing you, Boo. Keep doing you.
Yeah. One more note on the Burnley game from Saturday. During the first 60 minutes when we were just like jaw-dropping incredible, there was a point where all of us were like, whenever we're watching matches, I'm just thinking through who do I want to be my player of the week? Who's like impressing me the most? Every single person on the pitch shined. Every single one of our players did such a good job. Like Curtis was incredible. They all were, every single person had a time to shine, and that was really impressive. But I am picking Mohamed Salah because the mentality it takes for someone who's, especially a goalkeeper who's not in the action a lot of time, but he has to stay precise. The backup keeper, the type of mentality that he has to have to just be ready to go and like get his excitement going before every match, and he probably isn't going to play. It's incredible. And when he does get called up to show up and like get to play, and he is as precise and as professional and incredible as he is, I really, really like him. Alison Becker was my first love in Liverpool. And I was like, no keeper is going to be able to match that. Just not. Marmy is like stealing pieces of my heart every single time I see him, whether it's on the pitch or on social media or in any of the content. It's incredible. He was really the only person around Dom when Dom gave the goal away. And he went straight up to Dominic, hugged him, gave him a little bit of encouragement, and then got straight back into the game. So the way that he showed up in that was really incredible. So just wanted to give him a little bit of a shout out this week because we don't get to see him very often.
Wonderful. Well, I think that is all for this week's episode. We'll be back here next week, but until then, you'll never walk alone. Booyah!